Hey, Brad.
Hi.
This is Beat Hazard.
Let's get Beat Hazardous.
Yeah, so this is a dual joystick shooter for the PC. Actually came out as an Xbox Live indie game originally, but the
really?
Steam version is
Okay.
the Steam version is the one.
Yeah, that's the one that the buzz seems to be building around.
Yeah, and it's basically it takes music off your hard drive. We've got a few songs here, and turns them into levels.
Okay.
So kind of the interesting thing it does is your ability to shoot is governed by the noise of the music. So
wow.
in quiet songs, in sparsely produced songs,
Yeah.
you don't get to shoot as much.
That's kind of
which
a
is
bummer.
which is kind of rough.
Yeah.
So it makes some stuff kind of a little difficult. Let's jump into something here. Let's start out with a normal here and go through it. So I've already leveled up. This game has an experience point system that leads to additional perks, in a sense, where
Okay.
at this point now I'm starting out with both the volume and the weapon power meters full, and things like, when I die I don't lose as much as my multiplier as I do normally. But yeah, when you first get going, you kind of have to work the volume up. The song actually starts out quieter, and the volume ends up kind of feeding into your weapon power as well.
Are you saying the game throttles the volume of the song?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which for a game that you want to be listening to the music in is kind of a weird choice.
Yeah.
And also you can kind of hear there aren't really a lot of oops, that's enemy fire.
That was not a power up.
Sometimes it gets a little Jeff Mintery or something. You can't tell which is the stuff you want and which stuff you don't want. Especially when I'm trying to talk to you about the game.
Sure.
In the process. What were we talking about?
Jeff Minter.
All right, so that's a volume power up, so that'll increase the volume. Like I was saying, the sound is a little sparse. Like when I shoot, it doesn't make noise.
Yeah, I was noticing that. I mean, granted, you don't want to obscure the music if the game is about music.
Right.
Some kind of feedback would be nice.
Yeah, it definitely could use some more of that. It does have a lot of these boss ships.
Yeah, I'm kind of into the gigantic spaceship thing.
Doing horribly here. We'll get over here and drop a smart bomb on it. So you kind of want to take out the guns, because then it can't shoot back. And after you take out the guns, you can kind of take out each wing. And once the wings are down, you can take down the center. But either way, the level ends as soon as the song does, so it's not like...
Oh, weird.
So look, this is a pretty quiet part of the song. Look at how poorly I'm shooting.
Yeah. That's kind of unfortunate.
So it makes a lot of these songs with these kind of quiet, loud dynamics kind of interesting.
Yeah. Now, is it generating anything about like the enemy placement or the flow of the waves or like when the boss shows up?
Apparently, all of that is coming out of the song
Okay.
because each level will play the same way each time. But it's not necessarily like enemies don't necessarily spawn onto screen on beat, or at least if they are, it doesn't really play all that well.
It's not obvious, right?
Yeah. So I think it probably could do a little better on some of that stuff as well, but I think it does really well with the effects and just the blurriness and the flashy, like I said, the Minter-esque stuff.
Yeah,
I think
like
it does really well.
I might seize at any moment, but other than that, it's pretty cool.
Just put like your wallet under your tongue.
All right.
It'll be fine.
I actually left my wallet at home today.
Oh man, dude, why would you not bring your wallet?
I forgot it. I was going to ask a question. What was it? Read my mind. This is a one-man band kind of thing, right? Isn't
Yes,
this like a
yes,
dude?
definitely an independent project. The credits seem to have one name on it, along with some special thanks and other sort of stuff like that. But looks like it's one, maybe two guys. Two guys were awarded a prize. They actually won, like the XNA, like Dream Create chair, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
They won some money in that competition. So these
Okay.
guys got $5,000 out of that. Plus, they're selling it on Steam. So
Yeah.
so they're in business, and they're in business.
Yeah, obviously. Do you know how it worked on the Xbox? Did it just pull from like your custom soundtracks?
I think
or
that
whatever?
I'm not sure that it actually had the custom soundtrack stuff in that.
Oh, really? It was
There
just
is some music that comes with the game.
Okay.
It might have actually been based on that, but I have not played the Xbox version,
Okay.
so I could not tell you. Some other little stuff, like if you stop shooting, you get that Daredevil meter.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a little. That gives you a multiplier bonus. You just jump from
Okay.
106 to 111.
Yeah.
So there's a bit like, you kind of want to spend the beginning of the song when maybe you can't shoot as well because the song is a quiet start or something. Maybe just letting your multiplier pump up. So there's a bit of strategy of like, am I going to shoot or am I going to build up my multiplier so that when I shoot later, I'm shooting more effectively.
Now, I have to imagine this has the same issue that Audio Surf had, where it's kind of hard to manage leaderboards when the levels are kind of like named after the song. Right?
Yeah, well, Audio Surf, I feel, does a better job because they at least make the attempt to have song-specific leaderboards. That's something that this game probably should have.
Oh, it doesn't have it at all?
It doesn't have it at all.
Oh,
it has
that's a
a universal... So this is just my score overall, and when I go into the leaderboards, it's literally just how many points I've earned across all my play sessions.
Seems like people could gin up like fake songs that would make it super easy to kind of max out your score.
Well, I mean, the game's going to be the game regardless of the song in a sense. You can definitely make an all-noise song where you get to shoot, but who's to say that wouldn't also be difficult for other reasons?
Oh, yeah, here we go.
What do you want?
I'm going to leave it up to you.
All right, let's run through a short one on Insane.
Okay.
You don't unlock Insane until you hit the top of the level ladder until you reach elite status.
Are you a Jedi, Jeff?
I don't know.
Said for Jedi only.
Said for Jedi only. Well, then probably not for me.
All right. Yeah, that is really weird how it comes in all quiet. It sort of...
And this is with the volume all the way up.
Yeah.
So, because by leveling up, I've earned the right to start at full volume.
Right.
Otherwise, it'd be even quieter. Which, yeah, it's a weird choice. I understand you want to have power-ups that are meaningful. So you can see on Insane, there's definitely more stuff to deal with. But also the effects are a little more extravagant, which I like. I kind of wish that there was a mode with maybe like full extravagance on the effects, but not necessarily full enemy placement.
I don't know if I can keep looking at this. This is intense.
And yeah, it's weird because it's all visual intensity.
Yeah.
Because the audio doesn't necessarily back it up.
That is a weird balance, for sure.
In space, no one can hear you play Beat Hazard.
Yeah, apparently. Do you have something MCs can kiss?
I might have something.
Yeah.
So a bunch of multiplier upgrades for killing the boss. And those things take a few... I also wish that there was a little more enemy variety. And I guess like my thing is like the background stuff, all the flickery visuals and stuff look great.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the kind of drawn arts, like the ship.
The sprites are not so great looking.
Yeah. These asteroids and... the space junk's kind of interesting, but at the same time, it can be a little hard to tell when space junk is big enough to kill you or small enough to avoid or not care about. So that can be a little tricky.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they had gone for more kind of consistent art design, like sort of Geometry Wars style, where like everything has the sort of
every single thing.
As
soon as it comes on screen, it makes a noise and by its shape, you know exactly what's going on.
Right.
It's kind of a hard thing to nail, and it's a minor point. It's one of those real subtle things about Geometry Wars, but it makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely. Now, so you said basically the levels are as long as the song, right?
Yep.
So could you feed it like a 30-minute song and just keep racking up points?
I imagine you could feed it a podcast if you really wanted to.
Right. That seems kind of crazy. I mean, it almost makes me wonder why they bothered with leaderboards if. Because your score potential seems completely tied to what you put into it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just the more time you spend playing, the more score you're going to get.
Right.
And it's cumulative across songs. It's not just like I did really good on this one song, so that's my new high score.
Got it.
Also, you don't earn any extra lives in this game.
Huh. Okay.
So it is all based on your ability to just stay alive and make the most out of your 3 lives, and that goes across all the modes. This is just one song on Insane, but there's also a survival mode, which is sort of a play a whole album sort of thing.
All right. Oh, no. So do you go straight into the level here?
4. No, because we're just doing one play, it just drops right back out.
Okay. So
but we could play this folder as survival mode, and it will just run down the list.
Okay. So it was just grabbing a random song there and playing it?
Yeah, it just grabs songs out of your folders. Also, having a pretty substantial music collection at home, like navigating the folders and stuff, is a little trickier than maybe it should be. All right, let's try hardcore mode. Split the difference between normal and insane.
Jeff, you are about to be shooting all the time.
Yeah.
For about 2.5 minutes. Like the complete lack of sound effects on the shots and stuff, sort of.
Yeah, but it's
weirds me out.
It's a weird balance, though, right? Because you know it's a music game. You obviously want to hear the music, so you don't want to totally obscure it with all your space shooter noises. But at the same time, it comes across as kind of flat without that stuff.
It lacks a certain level of feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like more feedback is probably the most important thing. Like just more, you blew up this thing, and it does have explosions, and at least the bosses when they shoot, you do get those all have unique sound effects, so you can tell like what's coming at you, even if you're not necessarily looking at it. Like when you hear that noise, you need to get the F out of the way because those shots kill you quickly. They come right at you. Blew up all that stuff.
Stuff did get
I'm
blown
dropping
up.
the bombs over Baghdad.
I don't think this is Baghdad.
I pulled my thing out because I planned.
To bang?
Yeah.
All right. Time will be.
All right, the boss coming.
Do you get drunk and stay drunk at the club?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Sometimes I show up drunk and then stay drunk. It only takes you really a couple of hours of play to get enough points to reach the maximum level. Oops.
So do you feel any compulsion to keep going after that? Or?
I mean, at this point, it's strictly just kind of for funsies, for the visual feedback and that sort of stuff. There's also a visualizer built in if you don't want to play the game. You can just listen to the music and it'll kind of freak out for you.
All right. How much is this running on Steam?
I want to say it's 15, but it was 10. It is affordably priced. It's somewhere in the $10 to $15 range.
10 sounds
I ended
fair.
up buying it when it was discounted, as things on Steam tend to be.
Yeah, they love their sales on it, and they are effective.
Yeah.
How do you not buy something when it's cheap?
Right. But yeah, I think this game's, if you're into the whole music generating a level thing, I think it's definitely worth checking out.
It's interesting.
It doesn't necessarily go as far down that road. At least it doesn't feel like it goes as far down that road as something like AudioSurf does. But I get the feeling that they're going to continue working on this. It already has like Steam Cloud support.
Nice.
And all that.
Probably
so
runs on just about anything, I would assume.
Yeah.
Put it on a laptop or whatever.
Yeah, and it's got, you can play it in a window if you are having issues running at full screen and that sort of stuff. So it seems like it could scale reasonably well.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Looks like a pretty good start for those guys.
Yeah, and I hope to see it continue to be supported. And like song-specific leaderboards, I think are probably like that. That's kind of the main drive for something like AudioSurf. But I think that and just like I feel like if there was some kind of graphical overhaul to get rid of all the impact, that font, all over this thing, like it could be done better.
Yeah.
It could look cooler.
Yep.
For a game that's so like visually focused, to have some of these elements just look kind of chintzy.
Yeah, it's a weird mix.
It's a weird mix, definitely.
For sure.
So, but it's out there now if you want to pick it up, and it's available on Steam. And yeah, there is some version on the Xbox as well.
Alrighty.